Welcome to the Authority Journey podcast with Catherine Aragon, award-winning marketer, strategist, 8-times author, coach, and founder of KA Media. Catherine takes you on the journey of moving from being an expert to becoming a legacy leader in your field. Join us each week as she explores the authority journey and what it takes to influence, lead, and succeed.
Achieving your most audacious goals doesn't happen by accident. Explore the authority journey and what it takes to influence, lead, and succeed. Let's talk about content marketing. Let's talk about why you create content. Is it traffic? Is it product announcements? Maybe you're after subscriptions. Ultimately, these days, we create content pretty much just to say we create content. It's largely because that's just what we think we're supposed to do. We have these scripts, playbooks, and content is part of it, so we create content. But let's take a look nearly 100 years ago. The year is 1939. The company, Montgomery Ward. They wanted to do a marketing campaign for Christmas, and I'm sure it was like any other content campaign that gets assigned in our modern day companies. We need attention this Christmas. We need people to come to Montgomery Ward, so what are we going to do? Well, they decided to create a coloring book. So they assigned this project to Robert L. May, one of their copywriters, and he sat down, brainstormed, and ended up writing the poem, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, think about that for a minute. Our modern day Christmas classic, even the song that we sing, we associate it with TV, with special shows, with songs. All of that came out of a marketing campaign. That year, again, the year 1939, 2.4 million free copies of the story were given out. 10 years later, before they signed over the rights to the poem to Robert May, Montgomery Ward gave out 3.6 million free copies of the poem. Now that is a successful content marketing campaign. And I ask you, are we doing anything on that level? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a content campaign is incredibly creative. Nobody sat down and said, what are other companies doing? May sat down and said, we have a coloring book, let's give it a theme. We need a story, what's a great story? And he went back into his own school childhood experiences, and he came up with an original, unique story, something so unique it's become a classic. Content marketing was popularized in 2010, but I tell you this, it existed 100 years ago. That's essentially what May did and Montgomery Ward did with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But we like to think that content marketing is something new. We like to think that we know what we're doing. Really, okay, fine. We are creating content. We are creating books, reports, magazines, articles. But you know what? They've been doing that for 100 years. Magalogs were invented in the 70s as a form of content marketing. Throughout the years, companies, brands have created magazines. We like to look at what Red Bull is doing as a great example of a brand creating a media company or content. And that is a fantastic example of it being done well. But it's been done over the last 100 years easily, if not longer. So we have to go back to the question, what is content and why are we doing it? Great content marketing isn't about your blog. That is one channel for your content. It's not about your funnels. That's one usage for your content. It's not even about SEO. I see so many companies doing SEO wrong. They get caught up in keywords and tactics and techniques, and they forget that ultimately they're creating content. And content is authority. So let's talk about what that means. When we create content, what are we really trying to do? Is it not to build our own authority within the marketplace? As individuals, we create a personal brand. As companies, we create a corporate brand. Those brands are all about sharing a message that sets us up as a thought leader, as someone who's worth following, as someone you can trust. That's what content marketing is, because every time we share that message, we create a piece of content. Content is the message. It's a piece of marketing. It's a way that we get our message out. It's whatever we share. So yes, that can be today. Content is largely social media posts. It's blog posts, it's infographics, it's videos, it's podcasts, it's books. Anything and everything that creates authority. I talk a lot about the authority journey because the authority journey is the way we can map our progress as we navigate our careers and our lives. We start out as a novice, and we become, little by little, we can become an expert. And then if we choose to go further, a leader. And then a legacy leader, someone who people are watching to actually guide the industry. These are wonderful things, but none of that happens without content. It's through content, through messaging, that we share our authority, and so we are able to level up and move along the authority journey. For years, I've been talking about content for content's sake, as this is a huge problem. When we don't understand what content is, when we don't understand why we're doing it, we end up with something that I call content for content's sake. But although I talked about that a little bit and I shared it, I didn't really have I wasn't able to spread the message as far as one post from Mark Schaefer did. Mark Schaefer saw the same thing. He saw the same trend. He put a name to it. He called it content shock. Now, because Mark is a legacy leader, he's someone who actually, when he puts out an idea, it steers the industry. That idea took hold and people understood. Someone who is an expert, but not a legacy leader, sharing the same concept, didn't get the same traction. This is why we create content. We create content to begin to have influence and sway within our own sphere of influence. Now, your sphere of influence can be small and you still be something of a leader. It's a mistake to believe that you aren't a leader until you achieve the leadership status on the journey. You are a leader at any point you turn around and help the people who are coming up behind you. So at every stage of your growth along the authority journey, you need to be sharing your message. It's not this thing that you wait until you're a leader for. A brand new company starts doing content marketing as soon as they can. Why? Because they need to get their message out. They need to share their authority, their expertise, and establish themselves as a leader. Any individual who's trying to establish themselves, let's say you choose to be an employee your entire career, you still want to be able to climb the corporate ladder. You want to be able to get raises. You want to be able to do your job better. You do that better if you actually build a personal brand. And you do that with content, largely on Facebook or social media or speaking at events. You do the same thing if you decide to start your own brand. Let's say you're a solopreneur or a freelancer. Well, you're going to be using content marketing to get the word out about what you do, to attract your customers. All of this is essentially content marketing, but all of it, the real ultimate purpose is authority. So everything else we talk about regarding content marketing is really just tactics. All of them are valid. All of them are worth investing in, but they should never become more important than the actual reason we're doing content. We're doing content to build authority, to build trust, to get people to understand why we do what we do and how we do it so they'll buy into us. The problem is, many times we say, oh, the way we do that is through SEO. Now we get sidetracked. It's no longer about the message. It's about the SEO tactics. It's about ranking #1 in Google for any keyword. That's not even related to the message. Let's not get off track. Why do we do content marketing? It's to build authority. Now, the outcome of good messaging, the outcome of good authority leadership is traffic, is trust, is sales. You can use all those tactics and strategies to get these goals, but if you just focus on getting the word out, getting the message out, on sharing your expertise, you will also achieve these things. It's not like there's magic in any of the tactics. You can actually do your own thing. You can create your own unique method of getting there if you focus on being an authority. We do content either as a brand or individuals in order to share our own expertise, in order to help other people level up. And in the process, we end up leveling up ourselves. So let's talk a little bit about content for content's sake. This is the trap we tend to fall into. And it's what happens when you forget the real reason you're doing content. But content for content's sake is essentially treating content, treating your messaging like it's a hack, when in fact, it's the most important thing you can do. When we talk about marketing, there are the 3 essentials. There is the message, there is the market, and there is the medium. The message, it starts with your message. That's what content is. The format or the medium, it just depends on the message. What's the best way for people to consume it? And the medium, that's just where you distribute it to, getting it in front of the eyeballs that matter most. Don't treat it like a hack. Don't say, ooh, social media, that's the thing. I'm going to post every day on LinkedIn. Yes, you can post every day on LinkedIn and you will be successful. But that's not the focus. The focus is your message. Are you actually sharing something of value? And that's the second thing. So much of modern content marketing wastes people's time. It's not valuable. Everything, we are so saturated. We talked a little bit about content shock. Well, we have far gone beyond that. Content shock is about saturating the market to such an extent that nothing stands out anymore. Well, the problem is if we're all following the same tactics and the same strategies to get our message out, it becomes even more saturated because everything starts looking alike. Not only are we borrowing one another's content to share, we're not coming up with anything original. We're not doing it in an original way, which means we're wasting people's time. They can scroll through LinkedIn or Facebook and see the exact same message on every single post. They can do a search for a keyword and every title looks the same. In fact, if you open the first 5 articles, most of them will look alike as well. Is that really what we're trying to do? Look-alike marketing? That is not the way to stand out. Content for content's sake wastes people's time. Don't do that. Be you. Be original. Focus on your leadership message. And you will, in fact, stand out. And that's the other problem. When we are in that echo chamber, we are offering nothing of value. In reality, if your free content is so valuable that people would be willing to pay for it, you've nailed it. You don't have to deliver a book at every stage. You don't have to be radically unique at every time you publish, but if you don't have a real message, if you don't have something to say, why are you publishing anything at all? Wait until you have something to say, and then say it well. Focus on quality. Focus on uniqueness. Focus on your unique message, the thing that needs to be shared to help everyone behind you level up. Then you're doing content marketing right. It's easy to say, oh, we're a media company. Oh, we do content marketing. That is our focus. But you're really just publishing content for content's sake, just to say you do it. That's wrong. That is not the way we do it. That is not what content marketing is. Content marketing is creating a poem that ends up going viral for the next 100 years because it's so unique and original. The content itself should be so valuable. Maybe down the road in 50 years they forget who came up with it, but they love the content. That's what content marketing is about. So to succeed, what does it take? Content marketing needs to be strategic. You need to give value. You need to serve your audience, and every piece of content you create needs to exist for a reason. If you want to learn more about the authority journey, visit my website at catherinearagon.com. I would love to see you there. Subscribe, and you will stay updated on the newest content I create and my podcasts. Please subscribe to the Authority Journey podcast. I look forward to talking to you every week. Thanks so much.